God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, 'cause God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Good morning.
How about now? Okay, how we doing? Good morning out there. Good morning in here. Nice to see everyone. So we're hopping and bopping around here. I hope you're hopping and bopping at home as you're preparing in consciousness for the big moment today, the big moment, the big movement in consciousness here in Los Angeles known as Super Bowl 56. Yeah, go Hawks. Oh, no, they're not playing, that's right. They got beat by the Rams. Can I have some sad music? So just knowing for the Seattle Seahawks that someday their ship will come in. But for the rest of us, we get to step into the joy of knowing that the living Spirit is alive and well right here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills in the North San Fernando Valley. So if this is your first time joining us, we welcome you. We honor all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. And I'm joined this morning by Reverend Kathy Lyons, who is also our Mistress of Animal Ministry. Yes. And so let's all start by taking a deep conscious breath together and release as we come together for our call to service, which we call Lighting the Flames of Faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as we light the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, our online community, and within our own hearts. And as Reverend Kathy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
So join me, please. Everyone here in this room and online, any place on the planet. And as I speak in the first person, I recognize this one flame, this one life, which is a life of God, which is a life of pure love. And love is in my mind, body, and all of my affairs. And so I just know that this service this morning is just divine love unfolding, that Reverend Mike expresses as God's love through his service, and Jason is expressing God's love through his music, and Michael and Evan are expressing God's love through the sound, and everybody watching is just experiencing, feeling that flame of God within, so they just feel this love, joy, and enthusiasm. And so how grateful I am for this beautiful service and to be here to serve at the Granada Hills Center this morning. So with grateful thanks for all the love and joy and enthusiasm I'm experiencing right now, I release my word to the law. It is done, it is so, and so it is. So good morning and happy Super Bowl day and happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. And this morning, I'd like to share from what Ernest Holmes said in the Science of Mind textbook on page 107. The world has learned all it should through suffering. And I say, hear, hear. For the past 2 years, there's been a great deal of suffering. And I don't think I have to go into all the details about this. And in a crisis, what we can do, though, is see how we can come together, support one another, and grow from it. Yet, I now say enough is enough. It's time to come together through positive things. And I was thinking today about the Super Bowl. While I'm not into sports, in fact, I'll be watching the Puppy Bowl on Animal Planet, I'm pleased to see how in the past 2 weeks, how people have come together through something joyful and positive. I was watching the news last night. There's Super Bowl parties, and the hotels and restaurants and bars are getting a lot of business because they're near the SoFi Stadium. And it's great to witness that excitement and enthusiasm in the air. It's reminiscent of when the Beatles came to the United States 58 years ago. And I know it's hard to believe that I was alive at that time, but I was. And at that time, the nation was suffering from the loss of John F. Kennedy. Yet I say there are ways that we can grow and connect through joyful things. Suffering is something that's not God ordained. But I've noticed that in the race consciousness or collective consciousness, there seems to be a belief that sometimes we have to suffer through something to have something, a positive outcome. I remember when I was a little girl, I went to get a permanent, and my hair was all tight in these rollers, and my mother said to me, "See, you have to suffer to be beautiful." Well, that's not necessarily true. We don't have to suffer. We can feel beautiful inwardly, and that doesn't take any suffering. Also, I remember back in the 80s, there was this no pain, no gain belief about fitness, and that's not really true either. Maybe some people like working out in weights or running miles and miles, but you can also become physically fit through things like dance, yoga. Nancy Shriver does a Qigong class, or maybe through hiking. So find joyful things that are healthy. And the same thing with spiritual growth. We don't necessarily need to suffer for that. We can find growth through things we enjoy, the classes that the center provides. I remember a few years ago, it was actually several years ago now, we had a laughter yoga workshop, and that was a lot of fun. So remember, learn to connect with others and grow through joyful experience. Let's grow experiencing joy and enthusiasm, and so it is.
Thank you. Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, you guy. Today I'm going to sing a song that my friend wrote, my friend Jeff Goldford wrote, and he doesn't know I'm doing this. Walk with me, and I'll walk with you down these troubled roads we stumbled into. We're all in this thing together. We're gonna make it through. If you walk with me, yeah, I'll walk with you. Be there for me, and I'll be there for you. When we're running out of hope and we don't know what to do, like a candle in the darkness, shining bright and true. Be there for me, and I'll be there for you. Oh, everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. 'Cause you and me got better days coming, yeah. Everything is gonna be alright. You walk with me, and I'll walk with you. I know the rain of today will bring tomorrow's bloom. When we can't see where we're going or what the world is coming to, you walk with me, and I walk with you. is gonna be alright. Oh, everything is gonna be alright. Alright, 'cause you and me got better days coming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything is gonna be alright. You walk with me, and I'll walk with you down these troubled roads we've stumbled into. We're all in this thing together. We're gonna make it through. If you walk with me, yeah, I'll walk with you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Great song.
Thank you so much, Jason. And now I'll go through some brief announcements. The Zoom Fellowship meets today at 11:45 a.m., and that's facilitated from Agneta Byland. And if you would like prayer support, you can find a practitioner online at cslgh.org. The Law of Attraction group with Mike Carlin, that's online at 1 p.m. So you can email Mike Carlin at michaelcarlin5@gmail.com for the link. We have the Healing Support Group at 1 o'clock p.m. with Reverend Jessica Fish. Meeting ID 619-871-1934. And you can email Reverend Jessica at revjessicafish@icloud.com for the password. And remember, next week, Animal Kinship Group, February 20th. Join me. And also, on March 27th through 30th, on Memorial Day weekend, there's a Lake Arrowhead retreat. Contact our office for details about that. And so now, let us stand for our Declaration of Principles. We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My mind is ready to receive. I am opening. My soul is ready to receive. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My mind is ready is ready to receive.
So, just to avoid any confusion, today is a holy day of obligation down at SoFi. Anyway, isn't this a great graphic? Yeah. So, of course, I can't hear anything because you're at home, so I'll just presume you think it's a great graphic along with me. These guys in here are really tired of my football banter, though, I can tell. But that's okay. But, it's also a day to celebrate. We have one of our own has opened a new business, and I ran into her on Friday. So you guys know Tinkerbell. She's opened a shop over on Sherman Way. It's called Starshine Intuitive or Starlight Intuitive. I forget which now. But there she is waving hello in front of, I'm so glad she stepped from behind the traffic meter or we wouldn't have got a picture of her. But it's right there in Canoga Parks across from Henry's restaurant. So anyway, I thought you'd like to know that she's doing well. And so if you don't remember who she is, she put together the Mythia event for us. So we were talking about when we can do that again for the kids. So today's talk title is I Am Love in Action, which is we're also focusing on our yearly theme of resurrect, rebirth, renewal. And today's talk title is The Power of Love. The Power of Love. So, this weekend really is kind of an interesting confluence of events, starting with our monthly theme, The Power of Love, which, of course, is tied to Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's to all of you who are my Valentine, certainly within my own heart. So now, tomorrow being Valentine's Day would appear to be the inspiration for this month's theme, I would think. But it's also tied to our Science of Mind 365. Love is the theme for the month if you're following along at home. And then, of course, today also happens to be Super Bowl Sunday. So the good news about that is you'll be happy to know that I'll be done talking with plenty of time for you to catch the game today. I'll do the laugh track for you. Okay, so now with this in mind, we're going to explore together what the power of love, the Super Bowl, and Valentine's Day, how they are all connected in some way. What do they have in common? So the power of love, we're going to start there. So is there anything in this world that you can think of that love could not make better? Is there anything in the world that you can think of that love could not make better? Is there anything in the world that the power of love could not completely heal? Now, the answer to that, I think, is it depends. It depends on what kind of love we're talking about. So I have some images of friendship. So here's our two of our Olympians having a moment, so we'll just watch them for a while. So what kind of love are we talking about? Are we talking about romantic love? Filial love or brotherly love, love of family? What about the so-called agape love? Agape, a Greek notion of unconditional love, if there is such a thing in the human experience. All right? Or self-love. Right? Self-love being a familiar theme, certainly a familiar meme these days, if social media is any indication. However, if we consider the ways of love, there's no denying that it is a powerful emotion. And romantic love is one I find most interesting, as it gets the most attention, and certainly it's got the most attention from me over the years. It's exciting. It can turn any seemingly mundane life into a three-alarm fire of passion, of blissful insanity on the turn of a dime. And it's a natural high, better than any drug. And it is also, of course, fraught with challenges, which, as anyone over the age of 13 can tell you about romantic love. And you teenagers out there, if you're watching, we do know what you are going through when it comes to that. Believe it or not, we were young once too. So this is what I have come to think about romantic love, watching my own antics over the years. And then I've also really liked this book, Love Between Equals, by Polly Young Eisendroth. She's a PhD. Relationship as a spiritual path. So I'll be pulling out of that today as well. So this is what I've come to think about romantic love, which of course is tied to Valentine's Day. Just observing my own antics in this arena over the decades, that, romantic love, right? So with the advantage of the perspective of looking back over the years, really romantic love is the threshold. It's really just a threshold to deeper aspects of the heart. And in those deeper aspects of the heart, it's also the threshold to having a much deeper human experience. And I would say, even pointing to an experience of the divine itself in all of its ways. So it's passionate, it's joyful, it's exciting, it has a sense of newness and freshness. It's like the world has been created anew when we're in the throes of it, right? But here's what I really get about romantic love, and I hope this doesn't sound too cynical. It's really kind of a misnomer, romantic love. It should be called hormonal love. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing it at all, right? As I say, it's the most natural of things in the human condition. It has within it, the heights of ecstasy and sometimes the depths of despair. But ultimately, within it all, it's just the call of the wild making itself known in our experience. It is our hormones telling us that we would make beautiful babies together. But it's not reality. Reality comes later. This is just the threshold. We must, and it's necessary because we must first bond as a couple. And that takes hormones, to bond and to anchor each other for the real work that love is in the 21st century. For falling in love is an unconscious idealized projection where we imagine how another person will complete you or care for you in the ways that you most need or desire. Now, I want you to think about that, even if there's an ouch attached to it. And I want you to think about it honestly and authentically, right? Because I think that is how we come together initially. So, how to take that excitement, and it is exciting, and it is wonderful, and it is the spice of life. How to take all of that excitement, that chemistry, that passion, and mold it into something lasting, right? So this is not the purview of movies, right? Movies popularize romantic love. This isn't about that. This is not the purview of movies, but this is more the work of novels, say War and Peace. A really long, thick, good novel. A lasting love, a love that has partnership in it, with or without kids, is built, is cultivated, is explored after the projections of fulfillment and disillusion have run their course. Reality emerges. And then we are at choice. And the choice is not what people often do. The choice is not to stay or go. The choice is rather to recognize that there's projection going on, a fantasy, that it is our perceptions that we are experiencing and still enjoying. So we either choose to recognize the fantasy, but also to recognize that we are projecting also our unhealed stuff. That is the delusion that we are experiencing, is the projection of our own unhealed stuff. Because delusionment is a projection as well. Now, this can be tricky business, particularly when we have been immersed in a culture that presents happily ever after, this happily ever after myth, because it is easier and so much more exciting than documenting the years of effort and commitment needed to bring personal love to the committed relationship. Then personal love, as the doctor says, she defines personal love as a way of being together personally. Because what we are wanting to create, knowingly or unknowingly, is a relationship that honors equality and mutual respect. This is the 21st century dilemma, right? So I came of age in the 70s as ERA was emerging. Frankly, it was a confusing time as men and women tried to figure out what was going on, right? As we're shifting the dynamics of what it means to be in relationship. But now, all these years later, how many years since the Beatles? 58 years since I Want to Hold Your Hand, to I love the hand that honors mine, right? To honor equality and mutual respect, a place, as the good doctor defines it, a place free of domination, of control, a place of fidelity, and at the same time honoring our own needs and values. If we can do this, we thrive. We thrive personally, right? As individuals, we thrive as a couple, we thrive as a relationship. Now, if you are interested, if you are in relationship and struggling, the good news is that your current experience need not define your days going forward. Remember what we teach here. Spirit is not bound by precedent, and neither are you or me or our relationships. If you are open to relationship, the good news is that you can start right where you are to cultivate a relationship within yourself that radiates the juicy goodness that you courageously living your life in your most authentic way. Believe me, when we all work this way, that authenticity attracts people to us like bees to honey, right? And we must first work through our disillusionment around our current experience. And this is the work that longtime married people may not put it to words this way, but when they talk about it takes work, this is the work that they are speaking to. Right? That there's a surrender to the self in the beginning, and then there's a pullback or wait a minute, what's going on here? I'm giving 110% and I'm only getting 40 back, those kinds of conversations. right? Well, there's a negotiation that goes on in that, yeah? Right? So how to have these conversations, how to explore these things with our best friend, even through the disillusionment. Because life happens, right? It's like the old joke, man plans, God laughs, right? Life happens. But the good thing to know here is that true love requires us walking through disillusionment without losing our faith and hope of finding our best friend again through that fog of confusion, discouragement, and pain. That we must learn to navigate the path from disillusionment to love. Now, this is true on this plane of form in which we live. But sometimes it's also true within our faith life that we can get disillusioned, that we can feel separated from, that we can feel like God, as we understand it to be, has forsaken us. We are confused, we feel disconnected, unloved, unwanted. There's something lacking, disconnected. And the great promise of the human experience is to know that through that fog of confusion, because it is confusing when you're in it, and it is discouraging, and it can be painful. But as Mark said long ago, with God, all things are possible. Or if that one rubs you the wrong way, how about in love, all things are possible? So Shinjin Young, let's see. I got my slides my deck screwed up here. Shinjin Young, who's a Zen teacher and professor, I think down at UCLA if he's still working, he writes this, that human intimate relationships are the householder's monastery. That's cool, isn't it? The household, our relationships, particularly our intimate relationships, are the householder's monastery. That's where we learn to do our work, a place to learn about oneness and connectivity with a special other. In the most successful relationships, that oneness and connectivity extend out to encompass all of creation. So we're exploring this thing called love, which, is just such a it's kind of a lame word, really, right? Because when I say love, if there's 50 people watching, there's 50 different things, interpretations going on. That's the nature of it, though, isn't it? But ultimately, that intimate relationship must begin with ourselves. The longing for love within our own heart is the soul's call to be set free as love. Love is within you right now. Love is within me right now, within everyone now. And so what the world needs now may be love, sweet love, but it could also be something as simple as a softening heart. There's been a lot of harsh BS going on these last several years. It's time. It's time to put down the sword and the shield of harsh thinking and harsh talk, to allow the softening of the heart. To allow courageous expressions of authentic love, an authentic love that is courageous enough to see you and to see me, warts and all, and to love and appreciate and to respect and to treat with loving kindness and compassion just the same. A love that has acceptance and respect at its core, right? So that we become a fully integrated person, which is the great promise of our teaching, by the way. The radiance of an integrated heart will melt any frozen heart with time. And so to that end, let's see where I put this one. Yeah, okay. So this is the 365 today. The quote is, "A new heart I will give you, and a new spirit will I put within you," from Ezekiel. And Holmes writes, "Remain constantly open to the love of God within ourselves. Remaining constantly open to the love of God within ourselves can produce great results. Though the essence of love may be elusive, it pervades everything, renewing our soul and uplifting our emotions. We can live happily, harmoniously, and successfully with one another when each of us practices a conscious recognition of the presence of love within ourselves and within everyone. We can overcome the troubles and difficulties that we have allowed to enter our lives when we remember that love is that creating and sustaining presence within all." So can we see now how I am love in action fits into this narrative? For love is a verb. Love is an action word. And one of the great realizations of this science of mind teaching that we're working with here this morning is that we create our own experience in this thing called life. More than that, we are co-creating this life, and so is everyone else. So that, like it or not, this co-creation, this life experience, like it or not, this co-creative experience is a team game. And the only I in team is the great I am, expressing as life. Love expressing as life. And to really play and to really show up in excellence, to really play in the Super Bowl of love, you are going to have to bring everything you have one play at a time. You're going to have to play full out, one play at a time. You may have to block out challenging ways of thinking that no longer serve. You may have to tackle seeming behemoths, feeling like David taking on Goliath, like being that little cornerback out on his own. And here comes student body right. For you are in the arena of life, the arena of love. And the one who can stay fiercely loving in the face of challenge wins the day. And you are not alone. Your teammates are on the field with you, co-creating your most effective life, our most effective life, our most effective life together. We are teammates, and the Spirit is backing our play. So I wanted to share this with you. Let me just say this too, because this is Holmes, and I love the way Holmes puts things together. There is a presence in the universe that is personal to us. It is a spirit of which we are the direct individualization of that spirit. That whenever we create an idea, it is because a demand has been made upon the mind of God that is incarnated in us. We measure out what we shall receive in terms of the limitations of our previous experiences, but little by little we see that we grow, and experience adds to experience until we accumulate an ever greater possibility. So this thing called life, this thing called love, expressing in, through, and as all of us, is calling us to, it's game day. Every day is game day, and it's calling for our best to come forward. So with that, I wanted to share with you this poem entitled Invictus, which I think is a perfect poem for today. So take a deep breath with me. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this wrath of tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So as we go through the rest of this day, this Valentine's Day Eve, this Super Bowl Sunday, with all of its wonderful pageantry and distractions, maybe we can just take a moment to see how we can take all of it as a metaphor for the struggle and victory within our own lives. To understand and to know that we are the master of our faith, that we are the captain of our soul, because we are co-creating with an infinite power and presence that is love itself. For God so loved itself that it created you and me and all that we see and all the things we don't see, that it might have a greater experience of itself by means of you and me. This is our mandate. This is our privilege. This is our opportunity to experience the joyful expression of love in, through, and as our life. So let us move through this day, knowing that we move with the Spirit. And so it is.
I've been dreaming a crazy dream. It's been so long now, I thought it was real. As I awaken, and my eyes can see all of the beauty that's been there before me. I'm feeling tomorrow shine. I'm feeling tomorrow shine. got a brand new life ahead, and Lord knows I'll be fine, 'cause I'm feeling tomorrow shine. Well, I'm still reeling from this crazy dream. I'm starting to realize that nothing as it seems. It seems like I'm walking on brand new feet. Yeah, it's like I'm driving down a brand new street, and I'm feeling tomorrow shine, and I'm feeling tomorrow shine. I've got a brand new life ahead, and Lord knows I'll be fine, 'cause I'm feeling tomorrow shine. Oh. But I've built my life, it seems, based on illusions and crazy dreams. When it all falls to pieces and I awaken, I come to realize I'm not forsaken, and I'm feeling tomorrow shine. I'm feeling tomorrow shine. I've got a brand new life ahead, and Lord knows I'll be fine. I'm feeling tomorrow shine. I'm feeling tomorrow shine. Got a brand new life ahead, and I'm feeling tomorrow shine. And I'm feeling tomorrow shine. I'm feeling tomorrow shine.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. That was written by Dana Angelini. Gorgeous song.
It's beautiful. Two great selections today.
Thank you.
You stepped it up for the Super Bowl of love. I can see it. So thank you for that. Let's give Jason some love on the chat and in the room. Thank you, sir. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right. So it is time for us to practice generosity by means of the offering. So there are many ways. If you're, well, of course, you're online, so you know that there's a donate button on the website. It takes you to our PayPal portal. If you're on your phone, you can just kind of sweep it till you get to the home page. It'll take you to a page that looks like that. The YouTube channel, it's in this far right-hand corner in the icon there. Facebook page is a simple donate button. Or you can continue to mail in your donations, which many of you have done so faithfully through my tenure here, but certainly these last couple of years. And of course, bill pay is probably the easiest way, and many of you take care of that as well. So for the many ways in which your goodness makes its way to the center, we thank you, and we'll give you a moment to do that now with our offering song.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So going within for just a moment longer, recognizing this basket represents the many ways in which your generosity finds its way to our center. It also represents that the consciousness of the individual that knows and knows that it knows that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And so these gifts represented by the individual generosity, we now, as this spiritual community, both here in the room and online, accept these gifts with deep love and respect, knowing that these gifts bless not only the vision and mission of this Center for Spiritual Living, but anyone connected to it in any way, that we extend these glad tidings to our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know for our planet as well that the divine mind is impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of it. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it demonstrating. This lifts our hearts. We feel a sense of connectedness, of grace and power that propels us into ways of spiritual living that not only raise our life, but the lives of those around us as well. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. And so just to let you know, it is tax season, and the center received a check from Uncle Sam this week.
Wow.
Yeah, for $1.50.
Wow.
It's like, hey, man, keep the change. Put it to the national debt. All right. So let's thank Jason Goldstein one more time for doing such a great job today. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, guys.
Thank the lads in the back. We got Evan on the sound and Mr. Michael Carlin working the video. And, of course, the lovely Reverend Kathy Lyons. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And go Seahawks.
So join me, please, in consciousness as I speak in the first person for everyone watching. I recognize there's one power, one life, and that life is God's life and my life right now. And God is love and compassion and kindness. And I am one with God's love, compassion, and kindness. And as I know right now that all my interactions are with pure love, compassion, kindness, I see through the eyes of God and therefore through the eyes of love. And I just feel that loving presence of God expressing through me. And as I embody love, I emanate love, and I attract love in all forms in my life. And so with a grateful heart for all this love and compassion and kindness, I release my word to the law. It is done. It is so, and so it is.
Please join me in singing the peace song.
That was meant to be, with God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
a beautiful day.